Thank you very much. The choir and the National Symphony Orchestra. Brothers and sisters in the Lord, I have the singular honor to invite the President of the Republic, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, to read his tribute. Mr. President, you are invited. After this, our sister Irene Logan will sing. Thank you, sir.
Tribute to His Excellency Jerry John Rawlings, first President of the Fourth Republic. Farewell, Commandante. He burst onto the scene like a meteor, but a meteor that did not burst into flames and disintegrate like all meteors do. On the contrary, it remained potent until the very end of its life, leaving strong footprints in the sands of time. The turbulent occurrences of the 1970s in Ghana, the overthrow of the Second Republic and the Progress Party government by the military coup of 13th January 1972, the takeover of power by the Colonel Ike Champong-led National Redemption Council and subsequently the Supreme Military Council, the proscription of multi-party democracy, the professional strike of 1976, the March 1978 referendum on the proposal to entrench military rule through the union government concept, the formation of the People's Movement for Freedom and Justice, PMFJ, to mobilize the no vote in the referendum, the consequences of the vote, and the conspiracy to abduct the Electoral Commissioner, the palace coup that removed General Kutua Champong from office and ushered in General Fred Akufo in his stead, culminated in the emergence of Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings in the political space of our country. Charismatic, energetic, fearless leader. Such were the attributes ascribed by many Ghanaians to the man, Jerry John Rawlings, the young Air Force officer who announced his presence in Ghana's politics by the abortive coup of May 15, 1979, and was sentenced to death for his part in the failed effort. He gave at his trial an important insight into his character when he stood up before the military tribunal to accept sole responsibility for the attempt and to request the NCOs who were being tried with him to be absolved and freed by the tribunal. The great events that were to define his character and career followed quickly after his trial, conviction, and sentence. 3 weeks later, whilst awaiting execution of his sentence, he was dramatically freed from prison by the insurgents of what has come to be known as the June 4th uprising, when junior officers and other ranks of the Ghana Armed Forces banded together to throw out the Supreme Military Council and install the Armed Forces Revolutionary Council, AFRC, headed by Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings. Thereafter, JJ to all and sundry in Ghana. It is no wonder that he came to regard June 4th as, quote, that define day, unquote. He re-emerged as chairman of the Provisional National Defense Council, PNDC, when he led a successful coup that brought the short-lived Third Republic to an end on 31st December 1981. The tumultuous and at times lawless incidents of the AFRC three-month tenure of office and of the early years of PDNC rule are matters of record, winning him passionate admirers, vociferous critics, and determined lifelong enemies, all at the same time. He was the longest-serving ruler in our history, 11 years as a military leader and 8 years as a twice-elected civilian president, making 19 years in all. He was fortified in his work by his union with his celebrated consort, the equally dynamic Nana Konadu Agyemang Rawlings, who proved to be a sturdy pillar and invaluable companion to the very end, and who bore him 4 children, the eldest of whom, Zaneto, is continuing his tradition of public service. It was no secret that the relation that existed between the two of us, right from the heady days of 1979 through to my brief period in exile, his assumption of office as the first president of the Fourth Republic, the historic Kunipreko demonstrations, my period as Attorney General and Minister for Foreign Affairs in the Kufuor administration, to be my elected the 2008 MPP presidential candidate, was one of open animosity. We did not see eye to eye. However, with time, things changed. We came to see value in each other and understood to a very large degree our respective perspectives. One thing we had in common was our mutual commitment to public service. My visit to his Ridge residence in 2012 signified the easing of tensions between us, leading to a friendship that lasted for the better part of some 8 years. Indeed, when the Ghanaian people in 2016 reposed for the first time their confidence in me in the elections of that year, one of the first persons on whom I paid a courtesy call was His Excellency Jerry John Rawlings. From my entry into office, right up to the day he was called by his maker, he remained a good friend and a repository of sound advice. I knew that in moments of difficulty in my presidency, I could count on his considerable wealth of experience and knowledge. On those occasions, he came through for me. There was a symbolic gesture. He advanced to me at the funeral of his late mother, Madam Victoria Agbotui, held at the forecourt of the State House on 24th October 2020. It was to be our last time together. He was called up by the clergy to receive special prayers as the only surviving son. He told the men of God to wait and call for me to walk up to join him to receive the special prayers. He whispered to my ears as I stood beside him. I reminded them that they should pray for you also, because you had also lost your mother. I was touched by this. It is for good reason that his well-known, oft-cited ideals of probity and accountability, in which he invested a great deal of his political capital, have been enshrined in the Constitution of the Fourth Republic. And together with freedom and justice, the words of our nation's motto, constitute the foundational principles on which social order is to be developed in Ghana.